Hey everyone, welcome. It's Carl Hovelson here with Tracy Jameson and Joanne Brownlee. This is what we are today. Whoever comes on, well, they come on. But today we've got our favorite topic, especially Tracy's, which is Open Forum Tuesday. So we get to talk about anything today. So let me start it off with, Tracy shared a video with me today. Evan, what was his last name, Tracy?
Carmichael.
Evan Carmichael, okay? Real intelligent kid, and he was talking about sales, like do you sell yourself or do you sell your business? And you know what it's all about? It's about selling your belief. And you know, this is something that's real important because I think a lot of us need to really sit back and think about what we actually sell on the internet. I mean, you got to be passionate about your business. You know, whether it's a brick and mortar business that you've started, a family business or something, or whether you're working for a corporation, or whether you're doing online marketing like we do. You know, passion and belief is really something that needs to be there in the forefront. You know, if you don't have a passion for something, you don't have a belief in something, how are you going to actually market anything that you're doing if people see that you don't believe in it? Because the moment they see that there's no belief there, the moment that they just kind of walk away. So why don't you guys weigh in on that? Let's start with you, Tracy.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, you know, I think that let's really dial this down and dial it back today, because I think where people really need to get started is about believing in the industry. And I think that, we've battled that, I think, as professional network marketers. I mean, we believe in it because we're professional network marketers. That's what we've chosen as our profession. So, we wouldn't do this. I mean, I come from the corporate world, as most of you know, and, I ended up not believing in that because it really was a toxic environment for me. So that's why I chose to be in the network marketing industry, because I believe in the people. I believe in the foundation of what network marketing is. It's about believing in raising up people, creating independence, and everybody's on a level playing field. Everybody can start at the same place. And this is where the misconception is for a lot of people, is that they when they're getting into the industry and they don't quite understand it yet, is that they look at the people who are the big marketers, and they say, oh, well, they've got a really big list, and it's easy for them, and they forget where everybody started at the same place. Everybody. I mean, Val Smith. He's our mentor and our business marketing partner, and great friend, and I mean, he's got such a great story to tell about where he started from. And he said 17 years of he calls it nitwit marketing, which I kind of like, but if you're managing to move out of that process, then you'll get it. If you're still in it, you won't get it, and you won't even understand that until you understand it, unfortunately. But I think that the very first thing you have to be able to do in this industry is believe in the industry, and believe that you can become something in this industry, and believe and understand that you have to change and adapt and grow and develop, and your personal development, your communication skills, and all those things that you have to do to raise up each level, each new rung of the ladder as you grow and develop in this industry. And the people like the Ray Higdons and Todd Falcones and Russell Brunsons, all of those people, every single one of them started at the bottom, started at the very bottom, but they believed in themselves. They believed that they needed to grow and develop. They needed to have some failures along the way. And I just wanted to point out, for some people who may not know, Mark Yarnell, who was like the father of network marketing, passed away this week, and what a sad day losing him in this industry, because he really did set the foundation, I believe, in what this industry is all about, and about the great teachings that he did. And for people who don't know, he wrote the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing. I'm looking over at my other monitor just so if you see me looking to the side, because he really did set a great framework about what this industry is all about. And he had his law, Yarnell's law: do one thing at a time, do it right, finish it. And I think that's where so many people, we've got into such an ADD kind of mentality in society. I'm not even talking about just about the network marketing industry. I'm talking about You know, we've given our and I hate to say this because I'm not picking on people. I'm just saying as an observation, a personal observation, that our society has given everybody excuses. You know, it's not your fault. It's society. It's the economy. You know, when is everybody going to grow up as adults? I mean, and say, you know what? I'm going to accept responsibility. I'm going to accept accountability and do something about this. And the only way you're going to do this, accept the accountability, is to say, you know what, I need to be different tomorrow than I am today. If I take the steps today to learn to become a better communicator, and that means both ways. That means taking in and of course sharing it back out. And this video that I shared with you today, Carl, Val shared it with me as well, and I've shared it with a couple of people. It had a really strong message in it about the emotion. What message do you carry as a marketer, as a network marketer, as a leader? What message are you carrying that people will be attracted to you? And this is not about attraction marketing, however it kind of is. It's all about what value you have to make you different than everyone else. And this is the thing that Val has tried to teach, I think, right from the beginning when we were, you know, talking about, you know, the legends in the industry and all that kind of stuff. What sets people apart from everyone else? Because if you're going to be like everyone else, and this makes me crazy, I'll tell you, everyone to get under my skin is come and start parking your business on my Facebook wall. And if anybody ever does that to me, I will politely come and ask you in a private message not to post your crap on my personal real estate, because that's not marketing. And anybody who does that has just served themselves a very small dish of whatever you want to call it. But you know what, that's not what it's about. This is about being out there, being likable. People see you have value. And where does your value come from? It comes from studying. It comes from knowledge. It comes from wisdom. It comes from failure, most of anything else. And the people that says that this doesn't work, this whole industry is a bunch of garbage. No, there's been more millionaires made in the network marketing industry than any other industry, probably save real estate. However, that whole industry has gone down the tank too. You know, so people have to understand that it all begins with the belief system, and you have to, first of all, Eric Worre says it great. You know, if you're a network marketer, I think it's Tim that says it, if you're in network marketing, act like it. You know, be proud of it. Be proud of what you do, because you know what you're doing is you're putting out an opportunity for people to change their lifestyle, change who they are, most importantly, and along with that comes the paycheck. And the paycheck's not going to come until you realize the fact that you've got to do a whole lot of work inside yourself first before anything else is going to change externally, because the external part, it's all an exchange of energy, right? And you have to exchange your time and your dedication and your commitment to learning to be somebody better. And then guess what happens? Then all of a sudden now people are going to look to you as a leader. People are going to look to you for advice. People are going to look to you to say, you know, what's your opinion about this or that? And you're going to be able to lead people in the right direction. People will then follow you and look up to you as somebody with knowledge. But if you just come around and start parking links everywhere and say, you know, like to say, here's my link, and then away you go again, I have no idea who the heck you are. But if you want to get to know me, I can get to know you, then we can see if we're a fit, and maybe I can learn some things from you. You know what? It's all an equal exchange back and forth. It's never one direction. People that can't understand that whole component of one-way information will never ever get it right in this industry. They have to be open and receptive, and even the people like Val and Todd's and the Rays in the world, they're very open, very respectful of collecting information, because it's all a two-way street of social skills. And until you can brush up on your social skills and your communication and invest in yourself to start doing something about changing who you are, and you know what? It's not going to be perfect. Far from it. And you know what? We welcome change, we embrace change, and we also embrace the failures, because every time you do something, you have to test it. Is it going to work 100% right every single time? No. But you know what? One of those times that you keep testing it, you're going to have an absolute fantastic success at it, and that's when you get the eureka moment and say, you know what, everything I did was so worth it. So, Carl?
Well, man, that was some great information, and you're absolutely right on that. You know, you hit a lot of major points that people have to learn to acknowledge themselves. Before they can move forward in anything, they have to learn to acknowledge that. So, you know, I recommend that everybody at least watch this a second time. You know, if you're watching it now, watch it a second time when it's replayed. You know, I want to bring up one example. You know, in the Total Takeover Facebook group, there was a person yesterday that kind of went on a rant. Okay, and I want to share this a little bit because they also had a breakthrough. Okay, what I call a breakthrough. Okay. The rant started off as they wanted to blame everybody in the industry, the entire company, the people in this industry, sponsorship, the whole thing. Everybody were just useless losers. That's what they were, okay, to this particular person, okay? Why? Because, well, maybe their sponsor dropped the ball, okay, and never followed up with them. This is what Tracy's talking about. Have some responsibility to what you're doing. And so I actually made a post along with many others. You know, I says, you know, all you have to do rather than go and do this kind of stuff in this room here and make a complete ass of yourself, okay, reach out, because there's lots of people here who will help you. And I'm sorry to say that, but you know what? That's what people do. You know, I've done it myself. I've made a complete of myself. Donkeys, you know what, okay? Because you know, maybe I was frustrated, and that's what happened to this person yesterday. And then what happened, I reached out, and a whole bunch of other people reached out. And just like that, we reached out and said, look, we'll give you some help, you know? So your moron sponsor decided to drop the ball and didn't care about you. It doesn't mean that we don't. It doesn't matter where you are in business. We're all in this business together. We don't need the bad publicity because you thought somebody else was a jerk-off. We don't care. If you're looking for help, you come to us, and we reached out. That person finally realized everything and made a public apology to everybody in there. You know, this is what I call a breakthrough. They realized what their problem was, what their fault was, and took responsibility for it. And they got the help they needed. Okay? This is why we have these things here. This is why we have these hangouts. This is where you can come in and ask, if you, how do I say this without being nasty? I'm just going to say it and take no offense to anybody. But if you just had the balls to come onto this hangout here and ask us some questions, rather than not participating at all, and then blowing up in forums and stuff all over the place, you'd probably get your answers answered. Okay? And if you come on here, you get some extreme exposure because you get to hang out with jerk-offs like me and great people like Tracy and Joanne. Well, I'm not really a jerk, but, you know, sometimes I can be with the way I talk, right? But I'm transparent. I will tell you my thoughts. You either like me or you don't like me. Tracy and Joanne, they'll tell you the same thing. You know, maybe not as an aggressive manner as I do it, but, you know, we're here to help you succeed in this business. We have all succeeded here. We're here to show and share our knowledge with you and answer the questions and give you whatever kind of guidance we can. We don't care what downline you're in. We don't care who your sponsor is. You know, all we do is we provide some information, help you guide along so that you can build your business and make some money. So I take my hat off to, they go by Wheezy's out there. And Wheezy's, congrats to you for your breakthrough, okay? Because we're proud of you for reaching out, realizing and having that breakthrough to go here. You know, everybody's going to go through that. We've always said that in order for you to get to that next level and start heading on your way to success, you know, you've got a few things you've got to go through. You have to give yourself permission to succeed. You've got to be able to let go of your ego, okay? Whatever you think you know, you don't know everything, okay? And that's the hurtful part that you're going to go through. It's going to hurt. It's going to be hard for you to accept that. But once that happens, then that goes through. And this is what happened to you in the last 24 hours, so congratulations to you. Let's go over to Joanne. Joanne, give us your take on whatever. I mean, it's open forum. You can talk what we're talking about. You can talk about the birds and the bees. No, maybe not. Maybe whatever. Come on. Over to you.
Hi. Can everybody hear me, first of all? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for your words, Tracy. I really don't know what to say. But I'm just going to continue along with the idea of taking personal responsibility and believing in the industry. Some things that I've gone through processes and breakthroughs of my own, and that's one thing that I have found. I've been doing sales for quite a while outside of network marketing as well as a job, and that's one thing. You've got to believe in yourself and believe in your product. And I totally agree with what Tracy said about you got to believe in the industry and believe that it can work, because if you don't, then you're just going to be like down in the valley, and you don't really get anywhere being down. And one thing about leadership that I've learned with leaders, they raise people up, and and what we've discussed before too, if you have a question, ask people. Go in a Facebook group, if you're part of Total Takeover or whatever, go in there and say, hey, I have this problem, or message one of us on the panel. And we're easy to get a hold of. We're on like social media, Skype, just ask us. Ask somebody if you're having problems, because we've all been there. We've all been frustrated. We've all been through our valleys, and we're climbing up the mountain. And for those who want to come, we would love to take you with us and be up there. And and one thing with leadership, the best leaders, they'll pull people up, and it's not, how do I put this? To help, I remember the quote, I think it's Zig Ziglar who said it, that if you want to get help enough people get what they want, and you will get what you want in return. There we go. Sorry. And that is so totally true. You help other people along the way, and the greatest reward for me is to help other people to be successful. So over to you, Carl.
Well, you know what? I'm not even sure if that's exactly what the saying is, but you know what? It's close enough, and I think that's what it might have been. And thanks for sharing that, because you know what? It's all about, the thing is, what we do is all about teamwork, okay? In everything that we do online, we cannot succeed in anything we do in network marketing unless we all work together, okay? It's that simple. I'm just glad that we're all able to kind of understand and realize that it all boils down to responsibility and belief of what you're doing online. Okay. Yeah. There's so much stuff that I've come across this past week. It's just nuts. I mean, it's amazing. You can almost write a book on things that you read on social media. There's a bestseller there. You could sit down there for a week and write a bestseller, because all the content is there. You don't even have to probably put any of your own words in. You can just copy paste, and there's your book, right? Because of all the ups, the downs, everything that's there. Especially in our industry, we have probably the people, not the industry. Let me clarify this. The people that join the industry bring 90% negativity to the table already. Because it seems, you can blame all kinds of things. You can even blame media if you want to, because media, if you think about the media and the news and everything, the content, the entire content,
negative,
is 90% negative, 10% positive. Okay, they're always bringing the bad things that happen. Whatever it is, you could turn on the news for 30 minutes, for 60 minutes. All you're going to hear about is all the negative crap that's going on in the world, and then they'll bring out one little thing that's positive.
Yeah, but
right?
Carl, it's human nature. I mean, let's take a look at. I mean, people drive past a train wreck. I mean, they don't want to see it, but they gotta see it. They'll stop and they'll stare. The horror, the gore. They want to see it, and I don't know. It's something in us, in our core system somehow, that people are drawn to the negativity. They're drawn to the horrors. I mean, you can have flowers and butterflies all day long, and I don't know what it is. It's just something in the psyche. I watch Dr. Phil. Love him or hate him, I watch him almost every day at 2 o'clock my time. It's kind of my union break. I just like to chill out and put him on because I love his, and this is why. He's all about accountability. You can't change anything that you don't acknowledge. And I think that that's his biggest message, and I like to go on there and see him because he has pretty fantastic stories of people, pretty extreme examples of what goes on in people's day-to-day lives. But the message always stays the same, and this is what I love about him, is that he always gets to the root cause. People operate in fear in this industry, and they will blame the company, they'll blame the compensation plan, they'll blame their upline, they'll blame everything but themselves. They'll never look in the mirror and say, what have I done to change anything here today? So they kind of operate in frustration. However, they never, I mean, I think this is the biggest lesson that we can portray for people, is that there is assistance. And the assistance will come, like I said, the teacher will arrive when the student is ready. So you can never learn anything until you strip down naked, figuratively, of course, that you're willing to learn. And the mark of a really good coach and mentor is to really push you hard and to push you into that uncomfortable zone and not tell you what you want to hear, tell you what you need to hear. So you can take a look at yourself and think that you're all this in a bag of chips, and your mentor will be able to step back 30 feet and take a good look at you and say, no, you're not, and let's really get to the core issues here and do what we need to do, pushing you one step at a time. Everybody needs somebody like that in their life. Tiger Woods, I mean, maybe he's not a poor example right now. However, when he was at the top of his game, he had the coaches and mentors. Look at Ray Higdon. He's writing out $25,000 checks. The guy's making just scores of money, but he's always trying to improve himself. You're never, ever at the best. You're always improving and getting better. I don't care what industry you're in, whether it's in the sports field, whether it's in the education field, whether it's in the network marketing field, nurses, psychiatrists. Everybody has to always keep upping their game and learning about new techniques, especially on the internet. The internet changed. You and I were talking the other day, Carl, about about Google and about Facebook. They're changing their algorithms all the time. Why? Is because people are learning how to dodge and get behind all those algorithms and do things to whatever they need to do, right? Marketing tactics, whatever the case may be. So Google and Facebook are always upgrading and changing and adapting, and that's what we need to do in the game of life, not just network marketing. I mean, people will bitch, I'll use the word, bitch and complain. They'll do it all day long about the circumstances they're in. They'll do it about their lifestyle. They'll do it about their job, mostly anything. And I know I'm a prime example, and I'm not suggesting anybody should leave their job. Make sure you have a plan if that's what you're going to do. I didn't. I just knew that I reached saturation, and I knew that I couldn't be there any longer. After 31 years, I just finally, it was so toxic, it was going to eventually kill me because I couldn't live in the environment any longer. It was a really good paying job. I had piles of time off. I mean, it had a potential to be okay. However, there was a ceiling to it. And this industry, there is no ceiling. The only ceiling is the one that you impose on yourself. And it's interesting. I watched another. I'm an ingestaholic, I guess. I mean, with knowledge, I love to just watch people, and I'm a psychologist in the fact I love to understand why people do things. People say, "Oh, I hate that person." No, just don't like what they do. It's their behavior. People can change their behaviors. I watched a video the other day about the Bannister and Landy race. Everybody believed this is, I think it was back in the 50s or early 60s. It was in Vancouver, actually. There's a monument outside in downtown Vancouver about that very famous race. Nobody ever believed that they could break the 4-minute mile. They never believed it. And you know what? After that race, Bannister and Landy, Bannister won that race. 4-minute, he broke the 4-minute mile. Directly after that, there was like 20,000 people that managed to break that barrier because people believed that nobody could do it. Once somebody did it, then they said, okay, well, if somebody could do it, then somebody else can do it. And then, you know, there was college kids and high school kids and other athletes that said, okay, man, but look what they're doing now, for heaven's sakes, because they believed they could do it. So, you know, this is going back to where I started right in the very beginning, is, you know, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're both right. And I'm just in my nature, because, and you are too, you guys are, you're entrepreneurs, and maybe we have an extra gene in our body, or maybe we've got one missing. I don't know which way, what is it? Maybe it's missing, because we keep coming back to it. This industry is something, it's like a drug for us, because there's so much opportunity. There's so much that of growth, of personal growth, and it reflects back into the rest of your life too. It's not just, and this is where people really, this is the frustration that I have when people, is that they need to understand that growth, that personal growth, and being, you know, receptive, being humble enough to be able to accept wisdom and knowledge of the people that have been there and done it before. And you know, when people's egos get in the way, when I've got people that have large egos, for whatever reason, they just seem to fall away because I don't buy into them. There's no need for that. I mean, you have to have enough ego in yourself that you believe in yourself, but not that it's detrimental to yourself, because ego can work two ways. It can be stifling, and yet it can also be, if you use it in the right manner with confidence, then of course it can work for you in the right direction too. But you know, like you talked about whether or not people like you too. I just want going back. I keep notes, as you know, because I like to go back and go back into the conversations, because we kind of go down a bunch of rabbit trails here. At least I do. You know, and you know, we're talking about whether people like you or not, Carl. You and I have developed a really great friendship. Like, we're like brother sister. We've really had a chance to get to know each other. And that's where the real gems in this industry are all on the relationships. Now, whether people like me or people don't like you or whatever, you know, it's really none of our business whether people like us or not. It's their business. And, you know, all we do as human beings is that we stay true to who we are, first of all, and we also stay true to our integrity and our ethics and our morals and all those things. And I think that that's where a lot of the sort of perception about this industry, where people think that it has this sort of tarnish on the industry. It's not the industry, it's the people in the industry that lose track of their morals and ethics and integrity, that people attach that stigma to. It's not the industry. The industry is all about raising people up, educating people, and we have to go back and look at what the true meaning of opportunity. What is it? An opportunity. People have kind of, the meaning of that word has been so changed in our minds. We have a visual of this opportunity. It sounds like something bad. You know, oh, I don't want to hear you. Stop pitching me your opportunity. No, an opportunity means you have an opportunity to change your current situation. Because you know, but again, get back to that belief system. Believe in the industry. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can change. Believe in whatever company or product or whatever. And this is why I love what Val does. I love what he stands for, because he is such a great teacher. And the people that don't realize that are really selling themselves short. I never miss one of his webinars. He always gets into so many, you know, there's subliminal messages in there. You have to listen for it and you really understand what he's saying. He'll say it on the surface, but there's so much deep meaning in there that you really have to listen and really, really digest what he's saying. So if you want to be able to, I mean, what a wealth of information we have with listening to all the industry greats. I'm getting into the, you know, into part of the products here. You know, I want to keep it generic here, but I don't care what you do, but you have to be able to be a student of the industry. Be a student of whatever it is that you want to do and whatever you want to, wherever you want to go. Carl, I mean, we're a lot alike in that regard, because you are always moving and adapting and gathering knowledge, and God bless you for putting it all together in one spot for people to go and find it. Because you know what? So many people in this industry, they don't even know where to get started. They don't know where to get started. And I think that as a whole, I think companies as a whole fall down on that they don't really assist the beginners in this industry of where to actually get started. Like, here's the get started button, push it, it'll take you step by step. And I think, you know, when we're so good at what we do, or so versed in what we do, that it takes a while for us to get back and, you know, step back a few feet and go back and look at, okay, let's view this as a beginner again, once again, and see, you know, refresh our memories that, you know, we've forgotten, we've stepped too far forward. We need to step back again and assist those people. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes in this industry. They just honestly don't even know what to do. I know that was for me when I get started in the beginning. I had no idea, like, where do I start, right?
Absolutely. You know, I want to kind of switch things up here a little bit, to switch content. Okay. There's something that I want to share. This came out yesterday on our call. We were talking about how people can utilize some of their leads that they have. I know I'm kind of really going off the topic here, but you know, it's something I want to share today here before I forget, because yesterday we were talking about you know, how you could put people's email addresses into Facebook and find them. Well, guess what? Facebook changed again. Can't do that. Okay? So I am going to find out exactly how we can do it. Okay? But what I want to share with you today is what Dr. Michael actually shared with us yesterday and a previous one about how you can take somebody's email address and put it into Skype and find them on Skype. Okay? I took 40 emails yesterday and connected with 23 people on Skype. These emails were people that opted in to my total takeover from my contact manager. Okay? So what we're finding out is a lot of people, because I send out messages all the time with my autoresponder and stuff, and I get stuff coming back where people are not, you know, they're not responding or whatever. Probably because maybe that email doesn't go to their main email box anymore. You know, maybe it only goes to a certain place and they're not getting the emails. Or maybe it was a, I don't know, whatever email for whatever reason they're not getting it to their primary. But when I took that email and I put it in, I found them on Skype. Okay? Now, these are people that are sitting as pre-enrollers in my total takeover. And now I've connected with them on Skype, sent them a message. Some of them have messaged me back saying, holy crap, how did you find me? I forgot all about I was enrolled in total takeover. You know, let's talk about it. You know, bring me up to date. What's going on? You see? Because what we did in total takeover is we ran what we called the free launch. And what that was building your list, okay? It was allowing you to build as massive a list as you wanted to. Some of us went out there, like myself, 32,000, okay? I have a nice list to work with, okay? Other people didn't do anything, and maybe they've got 5 or 6. And then you've got, on average, the average people that are out there have 200 to 400 people, okay, that have opted in as pre-enrollers, and those emails are just sitting there. And they're probably wondering, well, what do I do with these emails? Okay? I'm telling you now, you go to your list today, take it out today. Okay? I'm telling you right now, you take out your list today. I don't care if you do it in a spreadsheet, whatever it is, you take all the emails. One by one, you copy it into your Skype. And this is how you do it. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can all see that. Okay? I'm going to share my screen. Okay, on Skype. Okay, you guys can see my Skype, my screen? Okay, so right here in the search bar, like you're searching for somebody, okay, I'm just going to put in, I'll just put in, I got to put in an email address. I'll try and use one of mine. Skype. Okay, and I do a search. It's going to come up. Okay, it wasn't that one, so I got to figure out which one I used. Okay. I'm not sure what email. Does any of you guys, do you know what email you guys used, like one of you guys used for Skype?
Yeah, you can use mine, tracyjameson@gmail.com. Try that one.
Okay, Tracy.Jameson?
Tracy Jameson
Jameson altogether?
@gmail.com. Try that.
Email? Oops. What did I do there? Okay. At.
Now everybody knows my
Okay, at gmail.com. Okay, so I do a search. Okay. Why didn't it come up?
results.
Did I spell it wrong?
No, I think
Oh yeah, I forgot. I put a W there instead of a.
No, it's not working.
I can't see what I've got in here.
No, that's right.
Tracy Jameson at
All right,
Gmail.
must be another way to do it then. Maybe we're.
No, I was doing it yesterday. You know what? I'll grab a.
Huh.
I've got to show. Just give me 1 sec.
Maybe it's because we're already connected.
I've got an email
I
everywhere.
think that's probably why.
Just give me 1 sec.
All right.
Okay. It's kind of embarrassing. I go to show this and it's not working.
Well, it's probably because we're already connected. I'll bet you.
I don't know. We might, but you know what? I'm gonna try this one here. It works because I this is how I added these people. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this email here. Copy selection, and I'm going to put it into the search bar here. See? And it comes up. So if you have the right one, you can put email addresses in here, and you can add these people, okay? And I went in to my Skype. Like I said, I put in 40, and 23 of them, or 24 of them, came up, and I added them all, and I had, I think, 4 people respond so far back to me.
Nice.
Okay? Now,
I like that.
one of the things that you'll find out is that, you know, maybe some of the email address, even though it brings it up, maybe they don't use that Skype. So, you know, you take a chance to do it. But this is how you can connect. Now, something that I'm going to work on here, which I think is going to work, is the email addresses, when you put them in there, it brings up their name on there, okay? Because they're on there, chances are that same email is what they use in Facebook or their other social media.
Yep.
So you can copy their name, exactly how the name comes up there, put it into Facebook, and bring up their Facebook account. Okay? Yep. So in a lot of cases, people are using their pictures on Skype. Some of them don't. But at least when you're doing that in Facebook, you'll see, because most people, whatever they use on social media is what they're using on Skype. Okay? So that the pictures in most cases will match. They have on some of the ones that I've done. You know, it's a bit of a process. But you know what? If people aren't opening up your emails, it's maybe because it's going to a different box. Okay? Maybe they've got a certain box and they don't actually go and look at them every single day. Maybe look at them once a week or something.
The other thing is you haven't made a connection in the relationship yet either. So why would, you know, a lot of times why would they open it? It might be going to spam. They don't know who you are. Yeah. And you know, the whole point of this is people say, well, I've got nobody to talk to. You do. They're everywhere. Just go make a connection, build a relationship with people. That's all. It's also
important though when you're doing that. Like when you go and you search and you find the person, you know how it says, you know, I want to connect with you or whatever it is says in there when you're connecting. Make sure you also put I'm just connecting, or I'm your sponsor in TTO, and I know I've neglected to contact you until now, but let's connect and let's start working together. Okay?
Yeah, I found you.
That's what I do. You know what? I let people know that I dropped the ball. Okay? And I say, look, and it's not because I haven't tried to connect with them, it's because we haven't been able to connect for whatever the reason is in the email system. So I've gone in and I found a different way to find them, but I let them know, hey, look, I dropped the ball, but I'm here now. Do you trust me to work with me now? Can we connect? Let's get on the phone. Let's talk. You know, I'm not asking you for a commitment right now. Let's just connect and see what we can do. So, you know, it takes some work for... My phone's going off. I'll leave it over to you. Go find out who's phoning me.
Oh, but you know what? It's all about making the connections, and you know, it never ceases to amaze me how, again, this whole industry is about the relationship, and yet people don't. They don't want to talk to people. They don't want to learn to talk to people. I mean, I remember, you know, I mean, way back when we talked about cold calls and lists and talking to people, and I mean, I even went through that painful process because I said, is this what I have to do? If that's what I have to do, then let me do it to learn how to become better. So I remember the first few calls I made were painful. But you know what? Here's what my history was, because I worked in the corporate industry. I was always picking up the phone and talking to people I didn't know, but of course I had a reason to call them. And sometimes I got a wrong number, and some of the wrong numbers were the best conversations I ever had. We had a great laugh. We got to know who each other were, and they were just a big mistake. But you know what? We had such a great connection, and just random calls. You know, that's not, we don't encourage people to do the cold calling in this industry because there's so many other avenues to be able to connect with people. I mean, Facebook has to be one of the very, very best. I mean, you can go and you can research who people are, go through their profiles, and this, another thing that never ceases to amaze me is somebody will pitch me or hit me on a private message, and the first thing they ask me is, where do you live? And I go, are you serious? It's all over my Facebook wall. You know, it tells you where I live. It shows pictures of me at the beach. It says I live in White Rock. It says this. It says that. You know, go and do your homework, folks. I mean, have something to talk about. And, you know, this isn't difficult. You know, it's actually really quite simple. You know, Carl, we give people tips all the time. And, you know, if you're really, I mean, it's really hard to be unsuccessful in this industry if you just put yourself out there. You know, we talk about branding, we talk about being vulnerable. I mean, you don't have to know a whole lot about anything, but just have a really great personality. You know, be able to be, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe I don't know, but I can sure find out. You know, have a little bit of fun with people. People don't want to feel pressured. They don't want to feel like you're coming and hammering them about your business opportunity. You know what do you do? Ask them questions. You know, it's really just that, getting to know each other and having a little bit of fun with it, right?
Exactly. You know, there's one thing that I just started sharing with my team here, and it's actually on the action plan site that I've allowed anybody to go to, is I've just added my Facebook formula to it. And I guess it's not entirely my formula. It's something that I learned from others out there. I just call it my formula. But it's an actual Facebook formula that many of the top marketers use out there, and it's all about approach. And a lot of it is also to do with having a call to action. Okay? I mean, we talk about call to action all the time. People tend to ask me all the time, well, what do you mean by a call to action? Well, if you're online today and you are online to make money, okay, a call to action is telling somebody to do something, to like your post, comment on your post, share your post, put your link, okay? Now, here's an example. And I do this, and a lot of people that follow me know this. I will put, like in the morning, I'll do a good morning post. I'll go, good morning, make this day better than the last. You know, enjoy or enjoy your day today, or whatever it is. You know, have a great week. And then after that, I'll put my personal link of carlholson.com. Okay? Everybody in this industry should have their own personalized branded link. Everybody who is doing business in this industry JoanneBrownlee.com, TracyJameson.com. She already has that. CarlHovelson.com. Whatever your name is, you do it. You know, if you have a common name, figure out a way around it. Okay. You know, like let's say your last name was Brown or Smith. Okay, a very, very common name. Work with JackSmith.com, or work at something that's a little bit different than than the regular name. Put something before it or after it. You know, work with, success with, travel with, hang out with, whatever, and your name. Okay, you want to be branded. You want to have one branded link that you can forward to anything you want. It's a blog, a website, whatever it is, okay? And after every post you do, you put that link, that particular one. Not an affiliate link or anything like that. You put your branded name link after every post that you do that is non-business related, okay? Let's say you know, Tracy was down at the beach today. This is what the view is from my beach, and she does this a lot. And she puts a picture there, right? But you'll notice after that she's got TracyJameson.com, right, or something. It's there. You know, she's talking about herself. Everybody's seeing that it's TracyJameson.com, right? And maybe that link goes to Tracy's blog or a website that she's made, and I know exactly where it goes, right? And it'll have pictures of what she has on there, or it could go to a Facebook page. It could go to your Facebook, you know, your timeline or whatever it is, or maybe you've got a what do you call those pages? A business page? What do they call those in Facebook? Fan page. It could be a fan page or something. Whatever. Okay. Send people to wherever you want, but that site must be monetized somehow. Okay. You're online to make money. Okay, that link can go anywhere. It can go to anything you want, as long as that there is something that's on there that you can actually sell somebody. Okay? Never ever, if you're in business, if you're in this to make money, never ever post anything online without a call to action. Okay? And like I said, your call to action could be like, share, comment. Okay, that creates virality in your social media. You can have a link after one of your pictures. Okay, you will have no idea what happens when someone likes your pictures, comments on your pictures, and shares your pictures. Because every time they do that, anybody connected to them sees that. If they comment on it, then everybody there connected to see it. That's the virality that happens in here. And at some point in time, it comes back to you. Okay? So,
right, and Carl, there's a bit of a formula for that too. I mean, you can have a business page, you can have a personal profile, because you can only get 5,000 people as friends on your personal profile, but it's unlimited on pages or groups or whatever. However, there is a bit of a formula for that, is that you don't always want to be hammering. Always, everything you post is hammering business all the time. You want to be over there and entertain a little bit too. I mean, I love doing that kind of stuff. I love entertaining people. That's just my personality. I mean, I love going to events or to, you know, gatherings and laughing and joking and being a bit of a center of attention. That's just who my personality is. I'm the same on my Facebook wall. You know, I'll go in there and I'll post, you know, some interesting facts, some news facts. Oh my God, I got interesting news facts today, for heaven's sakes. My oldest nephew was over in Victoria yesterday speaking at a firefighters memorial. I mean, he was there in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people speaking on behalf of the firefighters and the 13 that they've lost this year. My son just posted me a comment here, and he says there's a huge fire down at the beach on Marine Drive. I'm looking out the windows, and I thought it was fog. It's not. It's smoke. So the whole, I mean, then there's jokes, and the other one that I just posted, which I thought was actually quite profound. It was just something that's inspirational. It says, no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. These are things that people go, yeah, and they share them, they like them, they comment on them. Like you said, when they do that, then it permeates out beyond you to them and their friends, and then Facebook sees it as desirable. They'll post it on the news wall, and so, or the news feed. And you have to have something to say. You have to believe in something. You have to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. And you know what? Am I always right? Absolutely no. But I have a belief system of who I am personally, and I stand for that 100%. My integrity is not for sale. And if I have an opinion about something, as you do, and Joanne, as you do too, that it's not always everybody else's opinion, but you know what? It's an opinion, and you know what? I'm open for the debate. Bring it on. You know what? It's your job to change my mind, and I'm open for it. And that's where I think that it's an exchange of ideas, and that's why we're here. It's all about the communication, exchanging ideas. What worked yesterday doesn't work today. Maybe we have to go back around to square one again. Go back to our roots and our foundation and get back to what used to work, and maybe it still works. But it's all about that whole exchange, about the marketing aspect, as we were talking about. The marketing part about it is about branding yourself. And if nobody knows who you are, nobody knows what your personality is, nobody knows what you stand for, then you're just like everybody else in this industry. You know what? Get out there and make a name for yourself. Like you said, get your website. If you're sending people excuse me, back to your website, then at least have a whole pile of stuff on your website that tells people who you are and what you stand for, right? It may not, that's where you can start. Even if you're not 100% positive about what even you're going to promote, that doesn't matter. What matters is that people can people love to sneak in behind the scenes. That's why they love Facebook so much. They can, we call them Facebook creepers. They can come in, and I'm one of them, for heaven's sakes. That's what I'm telling you. Go in and find out everything you can find out about people. Like I said, if somebody makes a comment to me, where do you live? What do you do? Are you kidding me? I've told you that. Go and check it out, man. That's an easy deal. So it just makes me crazy sometimes that some of this stuff is so simple. It's so simple, and Carl, we beat our heads against the wall with people going, oh my God, are you kidding me? This stuff is so simple. You just got to go do it. And you know what? It's a process. People, you have to learn that. I mean, I have spent years and years and years studying, Photoshop and After Effects and anything to do with media, graphic medias and stuff online, and about web design and learning CSS and Dreamweaver and about this industry, about what works, what doesn't, what changes, I remember even the CSS part. You're an IT guy, and I know that you do web stuff too. I couldn't, for the life of me, understand how that cascading style sheets worked in Dreamweaver. And I'll tell you, I just damn well never gave up, and I kept at it and at it and at it and at it, and all of a sudden one day I went, I get it. And you know what? I go back and look at it, well, that wasn't that hard, but I just had this block, and I couldn't figure it out. And yet I don't know what it was that finally triggered it one day. It was just, I just looked at something a little bit differently, and then all of a sudden, boom, it finally made sense. So this industry is no different. I mean, whatever it is that you choose to do, like Mark Yarnell says, do one thing, do it well, and finish it. People give up, and it's the people with that tenacity, the mental toughness, and be vulnerable. Be vulnerable, for Pete's sakes. We're not born knowing stuff. We got to learn it. And the people that are out there that are the more technical or the gatherers, there's two separate. There's the creative and there's the logical. But you know what? We all have the gift of communication. We have that. We learn it. We need to learn it better, right?
Absolutely. Joanne, you've been very quiet here. You don't even want to jump in and say anything? Come on. You got to have something to say about this.
You guys are doing all such a great job. But yeah, I've been, like what Tracy was saying, about never giving up. Like, I've been in this, I started my network marketing in 2005, and just keep the amount of things that I have learned, like not just, well, also like about learning internet marketing and applying that to my network marketing business, and how to it's called relationship marketing, so building that relationship, how to network. That was a big breakthrough for me, like, and communicate, just talk to people, like, just find stuff out about them. And one, I can't remember if I heard this somewhere, but my belief, well, it is a belief too, that I can't control how many people join my business, but I can control how many people I talk to. And the things that I've learned about myself that I thought I could never do, and I've done them, and it was very uncomfortable at first, but you know, you just push past it, and but once you get over that, you're like, well, that's not so bad, and then, you know, then something else, and you learn something else, and you just, one thing I've learned with entrepreneur and to be success, whatever challenge or obstacle you come across, you find a way around it, and you just keep going through, and well, then something else will come up. Well, then you find a solution to that problem, and it's a process. It never stops. But I don't know, it's worth it at the end, because this has also been mentioned, there's such an incredible opportunity here that, you know, you can come in and you can learn, and I don't know any other industry where you can do this. So back to you, Carl.
Well, you know, you're exactly right. I mean, people are learning stuff every day. I mean, I just learned stuff on here today from all of you guys. And, you know, the other thing that I kind of want to get back to what Tracy was saying about, she got an email from, or a text message or whatever it was, from your nephew or something, right, about the fire down at the beach. I mean, Tracy could look out her window, take a picture of that, post it up on here, and say, you know, anybody who's in the White Rock area or whatever, this is what's happening at the beach. Please like, share, and comment or whatever. And she can make that feed go viral just in her local area. And it could end up going down the coastline all the way to Vancouver, right? You know, it's the same thing about, was it your nephew that was doing the speech at the firefighters thing you said? Okay, it's the same thing there. She could put a post of the memorial that's going up there and a picture of her nephew or whatever that's doing the talk there, and saying, hey, you know, share this amongst all the firefighters and support artists and all the emergency systems and all that kind of stuff that's out there, all these kind of personnel that's out there, and she could start a viral feed that way, right? And then it could all lead, you know, just like, share, and comment. And the one thing that happens on every time you do that, it always shows where the source came from. Mm-hmm. It always says Tracy Jameson shared this with Joanne Brownlee, who shared this with Carl Hollis, and blah, blah, blah. And it goes down, down, down. And it always shows where the source came from. Okay? So this is where you start to build your viral following from. Everything will come back to you full circle. Okay? You just have to know how to use social media properly. And a lot of people don't. You know, they go, well, I'm on Facebook, but I don't know how to use it. Well, we're here to share some of the things that we know work, and this is how you do some of that stuff. Okay? And again, you know, you either do the like, share, comment, or you put your link. You know, I was working with a lady yesterday who does some great pictures. She has some great pictures of the Okanagan and stuff. Okay? You all know who that lady is. It's Joan. Okay? Joan Maximiuk that comes on here. And I was doing some training with Joan yesterday, and showing Joan that, you know what, you have so much content, great content going out. You got some fabulous pictures that you're going out there, but you're not asking anybody to do anything with those pictures. You know, ask them to like them, share them, comment them. Let me know what you think of my pictures. You know, she's got a blog that she writes. It's joanmaximiuk.com. See what I said about branding? Right? Throw the link. Have them go there. And Joan's blog has all kinds of training stuff and all that kind of stuff on there. You know, if you're gonna actually get anywhere in business, you can't be scared to let everybody know who you are. Okay? You just can't. The moment that I gave in and let go of my ego and gave myself permission to make money, that's when I started making it.
Yeah.
Okay? And until you do that, you're going to be in the same slump that you are right now forever and ever and ever. Okay? If you're making only a couple of $100 a month, you want to be making a couple of thousand, then you have to sit down and have a good talk with yourself. And you have to allow yourself to be successful. Most people online do not allow themselves to be successful. And why? Because they're scared. They're scared to allow it to happen. They're in such a comfort zone And we talk about this, and maybe it's time to start bringing up the comfort zone, the uncomfortable zone, the entrepreneur zone again.
Carl,
Maybe it's time to bring that to light.
You hit the nail on the head. People have a fear of success as much. I think they have more of a fear of success than they do a fear of failure. I don't think there's a fear of failure, really, because I mean, that when you have to fail to succeed, the people that succeed only fail more than everyone else. But you know what's interesting? That I think that people have a real fear of success as well. They want it. I think that they haven't, first of all, identified what success means to them, because people will say, you know, I want to make lots of money. Well, first of all, how much, and what are you going to use it for? Because it really isn't about the money. They want success. Well, what does success mean to you? But also, with all of that comes responsibility. So, you know, people dream about, you know, winning the lottery. Was that ever going to happen in your lifetime? Probably not. The odds are pretty low on that. You got a better odds of just going out and doing your business, working your business, and doing what we do, doing it consistently and persistently. But I think that people, it's such an inner game, and this is what Val talks about all the time, and this is what people don't get, is the people that go out there and win the lottery are broke again, because they haven't changed anything internally yet. They haven't changed their consciousness to a different, they haven't gone into a different sphere of who they are. They haven't changed anything. And that is so representative of what this industry is all about, because I mean, that image, you can, I mean, people won't deny that. You can talk about people who won the lottery. I mean, I know people that did, and they were broke. They didn't win a lot. They won 100,000, a couple 100,000 or something. But they were broke again, and like really broke again in a very short period of time. They went out and they spent all the money. They didn't invest it. They didn't, you know, they didn't think about what they were doing. They were just back at that poverty state again because nothing changed. And I think that's where, sorry?
They lived in the moment.
They lived in the moment, so they didn't change anything, you know, and that's why what we talk about so much about that inner game that we play with ourselves, and it's all right between our ears. And you know what, if you can't, you have to become somebody different than you are today to be different tomorrow. And it's a constant game that we play with ourselves. And it's that vulnerability, I'll keep saying it again over and over again, is because we have to be able to really take a good look at ourselves. And I think the hardest thing for people to do is get out of the way of themselves, be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I failed successfully. And I think that that's the thing, is that we always have to look at the failure as a success, because you know what, it gave us a framework to do a little bit better next time. But if you never ever allow yourself to fail in that moment, then you have nothing better, nothing that you can improve on. It's nothing that you can identify that you did correct or incorrect, or that you need to tweak a little bit and move it forward. It's like taking the spaceship to the moon. I mean, it's not a straight line. It's adjusted, that line of success. It's always adjusted as you go. And you know, and people just, it's the patience, persistence, the belief. I mean, you have to believe it so deep down in your core that you want it so bad that nothing else will do in your life. You know, I mean, it's just who I am. I'm a very stubborn person. Anybody who knows me knows that very well. You are too, Carl. I'm sure you are too, Joanne. We haven't had a chance to get to know each other all that well yet. But you know what? That's the part of it. I think that the entrepreneur is that, again, I say either that gene or the lack of that gene. I don't know which one it is, but it's definitely in our being. And I was never happy in that corporate setting. I was always miserable. I always was fighting, you know, that status quo. I was like a square peg in that structure, and I never understood it until one day when I said I was the glitch. I never fit. You know what? And now I understand why I didn't fit. It was because, you know, I had to exist for an X amount of time. I was a single parent, so I had to exist there because I felt it was secure. However, it was a fallacy. There was nothing secure about it whatsoever. And that's where I think people need to sort of, you know, understand that, you know, they'll complain about their jobs, they'll complain about everything around them. You know what? All we know is that this too shall pass. Nothing ever stays the same unless you allow it to stay the same. And even in our current economic times, that, you know what, somebody could come and rip your life out from underneath you, and if you're willing to let that happen, you better realize that that can happen any day, and that you better be prepared with something else. And the home-based business industry, it actually pays you to be in it, regardless of whether you make a whole pile of money or not, because you have a business that you can write off on your taxes. So if you're in a typical 9-to-5 job, the government is not going to pay you to be in that job. In fact, they take from you being in that 9-to-5 job. They reward the people that are home-based business, people who are in a home-based business. They will reward you with being able to write off a great deal of your expenses and your business as taxable, non-taxable income or returnable income. So, you know, it makes sense from such a deep down structure of why people need to be in this industry. Start taking responsibility and accountability for your life. Don't let people dictate to you who you should be, where you should be, and for how long you should be there, and how much you're worth, because you're worth a heck of a lot more than that. And then when you start believing in that and believing in this industry, then anything is absolutely possible, right?
Absolutely. You know, and you know, I want to give a couple examples here of not network related, but related to people scared of success, because you brought that up, okay, or we brought that up. Last year, there was a gentleman just outside of Edmonton, where we live, that won the lottery. Okay, he won $50 million, but it took him 4 months to claim his ticket. Okay, when he came and finally claimed it, he had to actually work up the nerve to go and claim his ticket, because he was scared of the media. He was scared of everything. He was scared of what was going to happen to his life once he claimed that money. Okay? Yesterday at 2:48 p.m., somebody in BC went and claimed their ticket that they purchased on March 14th, 2014, 5 days from the deadline of losing out on a $50 million ticket. Nobody knows why yet, okay, and who knows what it will be, but it might be the same kind of situation that this other guy had. Maybe they were scared. They didn't know what was going to happen to their lives. $50 million will attract many, many charities and many, many lost friends that they knew they never had, all of a sudden on their doorstep, right? We all know what happens when big windfalls come in, and sometimes people get scared of that. It's the same thing in our industry. You know, if you've been in and you've had a job or something, and you've been making $30,000 a year or whatever, and it's all been like that, and you haven't had raises for years, and all of a sudden you try network marketing, and all of a sudden you're making $5,000 a month. Now you've just added a $60,000 income to that. Now you're making $90,000 from your full-time job plus your part-time, full-time network marketing thing. And I know guys that have done that. I know guys that have worked their jobs for 3 years full-time, making $50,000 a year, and where they're making $150,000 in network marketing, but they still kept their jobs. Okay? Do you know why they did that? One particular person, he kept it because he had benefits. Right? Benefits is a big thing. He had medical coverage and dental coverage and all this kind of stuff, so he didn't want to get rid of his job because he had this coverage. But yet he was making 2 times the salary in network marketing than he was in his real job. People have different reasons for different things, okay? But a lot of it, in his guy's case, he was scared of losing his benefits. You're making $150,000 a year and you're scared of losing your benefits? You know what it was? I don't want to pay for the benefits out of my own pocket. So people have different reasons for doing different things and different insecurities that they can't seem to let go of. And that's what happens with network marketers. Sometimes the new people coming here, that's why we say you're scared of success. You're scared of doing better here than what you've already got. And then you don't know how you're going to handle it. Okay? That's what normally is what the problem is. People don't know how to make that adjustment. And it's tough, I'm telling you. It's tough to be able to accept that. But once you have, you'll be so grateful. Okay? So the only thing that we can actually tell you here is, just with the closing comments, is that you got to give yourself permission to be successful. Okay? It's nothing what we say on here or anybody else can say is going to allow you to be successful. Only you can give yourself that permission. So give yourself permission, and everything else will just flow along with it.
And you know what, Carl? Just do it. You know what? People think too hard. They think too much. You know, just do it. And you know what? Just keep going forward. Just keep taking another step, Just do it. And you know what? It's practice. And, you know, does not practice make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. And so just do it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it.
There you go.
And do it.
So we shared some pretty good tidbits on here today. You know, you brought a lot to the table. Joanne was just like real quiet, just kind of listening in the background, but she did bring a couple of.
A word edgewise.
She brought some good tidbits too. She was just more in listen mode than talk mode today. But we did give some tips on here today, so go back and watch what we gave you as tips, okay? Because that's what we do to create the connection with all of the people that are sitting in your list. So we'll close off today, and thanks everyone for hanging out with us again today. We're back here tomorrow. What the topic will be, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So thanks everyone. Thanks Tracy. Thanks Joanne. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. See ya.